What up, boys? We're back today to do something a little different. I got my friend Dexter here. He's editor extraordinaire for the channel. And we're going to discuss the first 15, 16 episodes of JJK and some of the things I enjoyed about him. So, Dexter, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Dexter, as Nick already said. I do editing and motion design. I design Nick's intro, and I also do a couple episodes every now and then. And then he's just a good
every
friend.
Step of the way. Every step of the way, and I appreciate that. But today we're going to do something
Thanks
a little different. And Dexter has kindly volunteered to give me a rundown or some trivia, questions he's got prepared about Jujutsu Kaisen. Dexter has finished the series, so he can't say too much on his end, but he will try to keep the conversation going without spoiling anything. And we're going to get into it. Whenever you're ready, Dexter, what do you got on your mind?
I'd like to talk about Yuji as a character and his evolution so far in the series. Because I can expand a little upon the question, because it is a very wide question. I know that. But we have already seen him go through a lot. And that being said, what's happened to him so far is still quite a lot. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that you want to expand upon.
Yeah, Yuji's he's awesome, man. I got a lot of appreciation for Yuji as a character. He started out really interesting right off the gate because he just has this intense physical prowess and stamina. He's just a whole nother level, and all the students, I assumed he was one of the cursed vessels or whatever you'd call it right off the hop because he was so powerful. But then you find out that it's just natural talent. So I wonder if there is some family thing, some bloodline stuff in there that makes him like that. But in terms of how he's grown, the last episode I just watched, or I shouldn't say the last episode I watched, but the previous one to it, when Fushiguro looks at Yuji, you can tell something's changed. And
and to clarify, you just watched episode 16, which is the fight with Panda and Mekamaru.
Yeah, so as they're going into the exchange event, he asks him, Yuji, are you okay? Yuji plays it off like, oh yeah, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, I know something happened. And yeah, so he's carrying it. It might even be in his, I don't know what you'd call it, but his cursed energy. Maybe they can sense that it's changed and that he's gone through something else. And that was a nice moment. I appreciated that. But watching him go through it was something else because he's really seen, the worst. Not the worst. I'm not going to say the worst because I know it only escalates in shonens and stuff like that. But he's really seen the depravity of people and the lowest people can go. Yeah. And once you see that, it's it's hard to look for innocence anymore in everything. Before that, it was different. And as far as I know, now I'm not sure how that situation happened. Maybe he didn't. It seems as though he killed transformed people in that fight with Mahito.
It was heavily hinted at.
He didn't say anything, so I don't know if he's got his first yet. So we'll see.
I mean, I would, from just having watched you react to those episodes and edited a few of them, I think those specifically was actually one of the episodes I did.
Yeah.
The way I understood and read that situation was as he had killed them.
I think you did too. Yeah.
But and then you also mentioned cursed energy, which conveniently does lead into another one thing I wanted to bring up is the power system of JJK is pretty interesting, especially because the author of JJK admitted that he took a lot of inspiration to base his power system of the power system from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Which I know you haven't watched. It's down the line, I expect.
Yeah.
Down the line, coming
Absolutely.
at some point.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the power system?
重力を使うときは常にブチ切れてなきゃいけねえのか。おう、確かに伏黒もいつも切れ気味だったかも。
It's crazy. I can't put my finger on it yet. Like Nanami blew my mind, and then the way that they're all, propping up Yuji, it's like I don't see it. I don't know what they're so excited for yet. Yeah, he's stupid strong, but like I haven't seen.
But he doesn't have any cursed techniques.
Exactly. I haven't seen the next level
at least.
yet.
Yeah, right now he's only throwing punches.
Yeah. But his fight with Todo just happened as well, and that was I think that's going to be a huge growth moment going forward in the series. He's actually going to think on that a few times probably. But Todo is hilarious.
Toto is a great character, and that's also something I wanted to say, because I think JJK is one of the few series where a lot of people's favorite characters are characters that aren't necessarily, because I won't say they're not important to the show, a lot of them are very important, but they aren't in the show for a majority of the time. And a lot of people's favorite characters are characters that you might only see in one arc. And that's not to say that all of the characters we've seen so far aren't going to be further down the line, but there are coming new characters at all times. You get introduced to new people, etc., etc. And I gotta say, Toto is up there. Like, he is one of my favorite characters. I think he's hilarious, and that
he is hilarious.
Body.
When I first seen him, I thought he was a lunatic when he was fighting Fushiguro.
Yeah.
I didn't. I honestly, I still like, what the hell was that?
he kind of is a lunatic, though. That's the
Yeah,
thing. He is messed up.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a lunatic.
加速しきる前の拳を額で受けやがった。
お前に食ってほしいのはそこじゃない。
Yeah, no, the exchange event seems wild. I look at the episode list and it says there's 4 parts to this, and I got 3 out of 4 done, so I actually don't expect it to end next episode. I expect it to kind of go a little further unless something big happens. But we're seeing a lot of 1v1s, which is fun. I like seeing 1v1s. We're seeing a lot of the crew together. I say crew, but like the gang together. And
it is kind of the main
nice.
trio, and then we
nice.
have the second years, Maki, Inumaki, and Panda.
Haven't met Yuta yet.
Yuta is
Panda's
not there.
not a panda. That's wild as shit.
That's the thing I wanted to get into, actually. Panda's not a panda. What do you think Panda is if he's not a panda?
He's cursed corpse. I've seen it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just saying
He's wild.
he's been presented as a panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he has the 3 cores, and we've only seen 2 of them as of now. We've seen the panda and the gorilla form,
and his sister.
We've yet.
I didn't know what to think when I seen him down. I was like, oh my god. So we'll have Panda versus Mechamaru coming out this week.
And that fight also does hit hard because you get some insight on Mechamaru and the fact that, in a sense, he is more than just this robot. Like, he's just there is more to him, right? And I can't remember exactly what, so I don't want to say too much, but you get a little bit of his backstory, I think, if I remember correctly, and who he actually is and what he is.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Pain from Naruto.
Yeah.
通常の縛りとは違う。生まれながら肉体に強制された縛りのことだ。
So you have seen who he actually is and what he does.
Yeah. He's and like the sun burns his skin, and he was born with like half his body, and like when I seen him in the movie, I was instantly hyped. Like stupid
Mhm.
hyped. I was like, I can't wait to meet this character. And then when I met him, I was like, this guy's a dick. And then when I got his backstory, I was like, that's pretty sad.
Makes sense. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like, to be fair, that's also one of the things I feel JJK is really good at, because you have this mix of, it's both a martial arts shonen, but then you have robots that shoot lasers and like all of this crazy. You have cursed corpses, which is like a whole other thing, and like Mechamaru is kind of like, it's a mech thingy, you know. It's like it's
so just wild. And that fight with him and Panda, like, I was blown away. Like, that was wild. Like, did not expect that level. But that's like every fight is just, it's intense, man. They go so hard. The music is so good in the series too. It's been a journey, that's for sure. It's been fun to try to figure out this stuff. But the big moment for me in this whole first half of the season, I guess I'm almost done. I don't know if there's 24 or 26 episodes.
I think there's 24. I don't. I can check really quickly. I have a list pulled up. There's 24 episodes.
Yeah, so I think the big moment for this first half for me was definitely Junpei. Like, massive. Like, I could still watch that right now and get chills. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, no, Mahito, without revealing anything, is really a wild card as a character, and I know that a lot of the hate he does get, like, it's not hate as per his character is poorly written, it's hate because people dislike him for being how he
so
is,
nasty.
And like, nasty, evil, kills people without regard for anyone's lives and etc. So yeah, and I mean, there's more to come from him because we know he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, and like Junpei is like just complex and tragic in so many ways, and he was lonely and bullied and just beaten down and then manipulated by the curse, and then his mom
didn't even get a chance.
And oh my god! And then when he asked Yuji why, it was like when it was all like, oh my god, this.
Yeah, that does hit hard, that moment.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, regarding that, characters like Junpei and those kind of things, aside from the main cast, and I say that in quotation marks because we have a pretty wide main cast, are there any specific characters that we have either only heard of or seen glimpses of or met very shortly that you would like to see more of or get closer to, learn more about?
I'm trying not to dig too far into stuff, but those primal curses. I've got to come back into play, man. Like, I've been thinking about every episode, like nature and whatever I'd have to go back and actually see which ones he named, but like I'm expecting big things from them. And then,
I think it's forest, ocean, and
Earth,
volcano would be the last one, because Jogo is like a volcano cursed spirit. That's or right. Like, I can't remember, like disaster curse or something like that. I can't really remember what they call them, but they are interesting, and what they're up to is
wild, and
it's one of the big mysteries.
Is up to some no good stuff.
Geto is one of the interesting characters because after what happened to him at the end of the movie, he's here and he has a scar on his forehead, and we don't know what happened in between. So that's a whole mystery by itself, aside from what he's up to.
I have a few things to dig into on that. I'd have to go back and reread or rewatch the movie before I make up my mind, but I have an idea. But yeah, maybe I'll make that into a video and stuff. Yeah, it's just been really fun. Like, meeting Nanami was an awesome introduction to a character. Fushiguro was a fantastic character. Like, I know there's always the cool, brooding, you know, like, you know what I mean? The dark kind of guy.
どうした？
今とてもイラッとしました
And then
Yeah.
he instantly has affection for Yuji. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like this guy.
It's nice. It's kind of, he's kind of introduced as the, I mean, and it's not a one-to-one at all. It's a very classic shonen trope of having a main trio, but
Yeah.
he is kind of like Sasuke in the JJK situation, but instead of like actually being like Sasuke, he warms up to Yuji and actually becomes friends with him very quickly, which is very different.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And it's
So-
so nice. And
yeah, that's nice.
and like I still haven't gotten nutting on the main conflict that I'm expecting throughout the like entire series, which is Sukuna. Like,
Yeah, Sukuna
I
is a
know
whole
he made a
mystery
pact
by
with
itself.
Yuji. I know he did. We watched it. Yuji forgot about it. I didn't. I'm waiting for
No.
that to happen.
And that pact,
it's
when you
wild
think
because-
about,
yeah,
Yeah.
there's something else
When-
planned. He had an opportunity to come out with Mahito, and he was like, no,
Mhm.
screw this kid.
but that's the thing. He obviously has some sort of plan, and I can't remember the exact wording of the pact, but if you do go back and look at it, it isn't a very beneficial pact. Like, it's just, you know, I
1
get
minute.
60 seconds, I harm no
60
one.
seconds. Yeah. I
I
won't
think
kill
if
anybody.
I
No, I
remember-
won't.
yeah,
I can't
won't
hurt
kill-
anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't hurt anybody. 60 seconds, and like it's a one-time thing or something. So, I mean, he's obviously got some sort of plan, especially since he rejected making a pact with Yuji when Mahito gave him the chance. So
And to me, it's
there is
like,
something
let
there.
him get all the fingers, come out, swallow them all, unleash havoc, and then never be able to be confined again or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, I mean,
excited
we'll
for
have
the
to see what
second-
happens with that.
second part of this season because I'm hoping we get like some at the end of the season. If it's like, you know, if we touch on that again, then I think that's our main conflict. Right now, it's hard to put down, but starting the series, I thought it was going to be like, you know, they're constantly after the fingers kind of thing. They were like the Dragon
Yeah,
Balls or something.
no. Yeah. That's kind of the vibe that it does give you, though, when you're introduced to it. Like the whole that Yuji kind of functions as a radar for
Yeah.
other fingers, and that they can use him to find the other fingers.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of sidetracks from all of that and derails into its own very interesting adventure, but
Yeah.
still very different from the expectations that you get if you're just watching episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, and like the way they got Yuji of like the super like kind and like respectful young man who then like has a primal evil spirit inside of him that just like shows the good and evil in everybody. It's right on. It hits the nail right on the head. It's great, actually.
It is a very simple way of having that, you know, good and evil kind of character trait in one character,
Yep.
but it's done very well, even though it is, well, I say simple because it's technically not the same character, so it's easier to write as two different characters, one good and one evil, but they do mirror each other in some ways.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, and then they
Yeah,
inhabit
right
the same
out the
body.
gate when he was about to swallow the finger, I was like hyped up like it was going to be a sweet moment because Fushiguro mentioned how curses gain power from it. And then like he's like, oh, it's a 1 in a million chance of the worst possible scenario. And I was like, oh no. And then he comes out and I was like, oh no. And he like takes off the shirt and he's like standing over the city and he's like, I'm back. I was like, this is gonna get crazy.
Yeah, I remember after you watched that episode, you were like, I mean, I know this guy is supposed to be the main character, but I'm not sure if he's just gonna be the villain from here on out.
Yeah.
It does start off with a kick.
Yeah.
So far, do you have any favorite characters or just moments from the series that are like, and it can be sad, it can be cool, whatever, like.
To put a favorite on a character is tough. I certainly appreciated Maki in the movie because we got like a little bit of why she's doing what she's doing and what her motivations are. That was nice.
She is a very interesting character.
And like for the first few episodes, we didn't get much on anyone else, so it was really it made a big difference for the beginning. But I wouldn't say she's my favorite now. I still appreciate the character. Yuji is high in my books. I really like Yuji's character. I like a lot of his aspects. Like he's just kind of your classic shonen protagonist that just resonates with, you know, like the good guy vibe. And you know, we got Gojo, of course, charming, absolutely charismatic.
領域展開無料空所
Steals the show with his opening. Way funnier than I expected he was going to be.
Very goofy character.
Yeah, absolutely hilarious, but can throw down when he needs to. And,
and I mean, that's partially why.
It's so sick. Like, I love it so much. And the way he's like throwing jabs at the elders and like how he threatened. Dude. All right. So yeah, Gojo's probably up there because like everything he does is fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta give a little shout out to Toto and Nanami also.
That's my next two because after that it's Nanami for sure.
残念ですが
なんだ重力が増えていく
ここからは時間が色
And then recently Toto. But then Fushiguro Fushiguro in the first few episodes was really hitting home, like the way he was acting and like his techniques and like the way he stood to die, like fighting Yuji. Like he just stood there and he's like, I'm doing this. And when he was against Sukuna, and it was just badass. I appreciated that moment. But yeah, no, definitely Nanami. Nanami has this like cool intelligence to him that like
he is a very different, because like we've mainly just seen Gojo as an actual sorcerer in action. We haven't really seen a lot of other sorcerers except for Gojo and then Nanami. And Nanami is obviously not at the same level, which makes him interesting in another sense, because he's more as like one of the normal sorcerers you'd expect to see in the Jujutsu sorcerer world.
Yeah, his attitude's hilarious too. Like with work, I like work is shit. I totally loved him after that moment. But he has like, he's not just analytic. He's like emotionally intelligent. You know what I mean? Like he knows.
That's true.
A lot. Like he's so wise. Like the way he spoke about not telling Yuji about the finger because then Yuji would blame himself. I don't know. That's little things, right?
Yeah.
Little things. And then Toto comes in the episode I just watched. Or the 2 episodes I just watched, and my goodness, like round 1 Toto all day, like that was so crazy, so crazy. And then Yuji just gets up and he's like, easy. I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was wicked, and I feel like they're gonna have some growth, or at least Yuji's gonna gain a lot of growth from this, but also from that fight with Nanami when they took on Mahito. If I'm gonna rank any fight in the series so far, it was definitely Nanami, Yuta, and Mahito going at it. I'm excited to see Yuta come back. Oh, maybe we'll see him this season. Got me doubts, but yeah, it's gonna be wild. This animation though is actually savage. Like I'm primarily a reader of all this stuff, and to sit down and watch an anime exclusively has been a different experience altogether. It's a lot slower paced than reading, because when I read a story I usually wait for a while, and then I have like a few volumes I can read, and now I'm just like I'm only watching when I get a chance to record, which has been madness. And so like I get a chance to really think about the episodes for a few days, so it's
which is a very different way of enjoying media.
Yeah, I usually like it's not binge watching, which is fun. I can appreciate that.
No.
But I
can
appreciate
imagine.
the conversation, Dexter. It's been fun to get my thoughts out on this. I know I wanted to do an analysis, and I do have a script wrote up. It's just been dealing with some dental issues the past couple weeks, and I haven't been able to really talk a lot. So yeah.
And then just before we close off completely, I do just want to ask what people can expect you to be watching other than JJK coming up soon. Like,
I guess I gotta put my foot down
the
now
line.
and really commit to it. But it's gonna be Freerun. Freerun is next. Hunter x Hunter's on the list. Freerun, Hunter x Hunter, Don. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. But I've watched every bit of One Piece, so I don't think that's fair to go back and pretend that it's my first time, because it's not
that's already been done.
I've watched all of Naruto. I've watched all of Fullmetal Alchemist, Death Note.
That said, there are still a great amount of good animes out there. I still really want you to watch Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill.
Yes.
Those are
and Josh
two series.
got another couple that are just yeah.
So yeah, that's nice
It's
to
been
know.
exciting.
Okay.
But I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate everybody who
Well, thanks for having me.
yeah, absolutely, anytime, man. Maybe we'll do this more often. I appreciate all you guys for sticking around, and if you guys have anything you thought was really emotional or really impressive about the first half of season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe leave a comment down below. If you'd like to see more of these long form discussions from me and potentially Dexter, just let us know. A like, subscribe always goes a long way. We just passed 100 recently, like I said in my last video. Feeling great about that, feeling great about the community, and I appreciate you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Knack is out.